wait to purchase it and pay for it after it comes in, we would have in the fund at that time $493,345, not counting any monies that might come in addition on outside fire contract, which this last year was about $27,000. So you possibly have an additional $27,000 there. So we're talking about being within $20,000 of having all the money right then to post pay for. But if we wait till then to order it, we're talking about probably not getting the truck until March to June of 2024. This last truck was supposed to be 12 to 13 months. It ended up being 18 months. I asked him this time what we're looking at. He said 14 months is what they're saying on now. I said, so you mean 18 months? He said, yeah, 18 months. On the good side. So even to order it, you're talking about, you've got the pre-order way out there. All I'm looking for is if the council wants to pursue these savings, or you want to just set these savings aside, deal with this, put it on the agenda next month, get a little more information, no problem. I just didn't want to let this opportunity of this savings get by without bringing it before you. That's what it amounts to. And I apologize for this being a last minute deal.
Yes, I mean, I don't think there'd be any way to do it tonight. The council has to have, having the writing, and the only, I guess what we would be doing would be having an ordinance that's waiving competitive bidding due to extraordinary circumstances.
They can purchase it through the Houston, Galveston, just like they do trucks all over the United States, Little Rock, they all do. The Houston, Galveston Area Council Purchasing Program, which is the regional office out of Texas, that allows them to purchase this. It's a co-op type of line, so it's supposed to pass the bidding process through the auditors and all. We did the last truck that way. That's how most all of Pierce's trucks are sold that way, and other V1 and other, all of them.
But you got to have something in writing to amend the budget or go through the bidding process. Certainly, on a purpose like that, I mean, $10,000, $11,000 savings is really good, but I just think that this is certainly one of those times. But unfortunately, being a municipality, I mean, that's just too big of a purchase to say we don't have any writing, we're going to handwrite, something tonight. It's a big savings, but I just think that's, I don't see a feeling to do that. And right now, as the mayor mentioned, there's the issue with competitive bidding on items that we would say, we shouldn't have to do. And I think we have purchased some items through the Galveston area, and we didn't have to do it, but we've got to really be sure on a purchase like that, we are conforming to state laws on the bill. So I say that's definitely one thing that's already on the agenda, but for next month, would make sense to me. Maybe losing a little bit of savings.
It's too late for the August
For
1st.
that additional one.
So we've got,
You could have a special meeting.
Yeah,
we got to
what if we
decide
have a call meeting?
if doing the deal is worth having a special called meeting.
That's correct. We could do that.
Let me ask you,
I just felt compelled to throw that out for y'all. Either way you go is fine with me. I just want y'all to have all the information and so I understand exactly what you're saying.
I guess two, first question is, our engine number one, is that the ladder truck?
One is the ladder truck.
Okay. It's of a similar age, isn't it?
It's a 99. I've got them all listed down here. Engine 2 is a 99. L1's a 99. Engine 343 is 2000. Currently, what we're basically doing is engine 2 and engine 343. They consistently rotate as to which one is frontline truck, essential, which one's a backup, which one's not broke down. And constantly, if you'll look up there in the far right bin, you'll see one truck one time, be another one the other time.
So number 2 has maintenance issues.
Yes. 343, in my opinion, we bought it used out of Westminster, Pennsylvania. I think the mistake there was it was bought in an area that used a lot of salt and brine. And we've already had problems on the front end being replaced, the bodies some eat up places. It's not really the best purchase, hindsight, just being honest with you.
All right. So if we decide to do a special call meeting, I can hear from one of you that that's what we want to do, is do a special call meeting then, and.
I would favor that. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do that. Let's go to the second one.
Okay. The other thing was trying to give you an update on the outside fire contract. The mayor, myself, industrial area itself has changed its composition a little out there, where he explained, I think things would tend to be more compartmentized and run in those areas, and not so much as a wide open, we're covering this kind of deal. Of course, we know we got the state facilities out there also, but, it was a good first meeting, I think. Mayor, you were, Attorney Fry, you want to come in on that. We're gonna get back with him. He got back with me on an email I've received already, give me a little information, and we're gonna have, a meeting among ourselves. I haven't gotten yet, but hopefully after staff meeting, and discuss some options as to how to go forward and make a presentation to them. Yes, sir.
No, I was just popping my fingers, yes, sir.
So that's basically where we're at, just making a decision. They understand the cost, the increase, I believe, they understand it's just natural. There's been very little change. Mr. Deal, I believe, said he never knew of any other change other than what we have as far as price was. He was a little shocked that, they were, for the most part, the only ones paying. Nobody else was paying, so, and then we explained that we possibly thought that might be some confusion as to coverage, whether or not, because they had a contract, that others were covered also. So, we're having negotiations and talks, and trying to work with it. Yes, sir.
Let me back up to the fire truck thing a little bit. I was gonna try to speculate, I guess, a little bit on this year's budget versus the 2022 budget of thinking. So, we're talking about buying a fire truck for $540,000. We gotta pay $248 down just to,
We don't have to pay anything down.
it says prepayment.
If we make a prepayment, and that's once again, I hate doing this when not having the paperwork ahead of time to really read. Any monies that we prepay, we will get a 2% discount on that money. We don't have to pay nothing for 18 months till the truck gets here, not a dime. It could be over into the 2023 budget, if they take very long.
But we don't get the 2% if we don't.
We don't get the
Okay,
2%.
so the only way you get the 2% is paying ahead.
Right,
Okay,
but
you're locking in the
Besides-
price.
besides that 2%, that's a discount.
Yeah.
There is a price increase August 1st of all trucks that they bill 2%. There's an additional price increase in February, they haven't made a decision yet, 3 to 5%. This increase in August is their fourth increase this year. They said supplies, materials, everything, hard to get, gone crazy. They said it's madness out there.
So we have nothing in our fire budget this year to buy any new equipment.
We have $248,000 in the fire truck fund.
Yeah, but it's not in our, didn't budget
No,
to spend it.
no.
So if we
Right.
did that, we could amend this year's budget for, let's say, 248 if we chose to, or whatever we want, 200. And then
Let's
say
just-
the balance we could throw into next year's budget. Now, would your thinking be for the 2022 budget, knowing that's way out there, are you gonna need another one then?
I hope not.
Okay.
And we discussed, we usually go custom truck. We sit down, there's about $100,000 savings if we went commercial with commercial cab. But I think the statistics and everything out there for safety are no doubt that the people in the trucks are way more safer if they have a wreck in that custom truck than they are commercial. I know Little Rock had two here not long ago, they got a video on it. Two trucks going together, hit bumper to bumper, and walked out with a few broken toes and said should kill people. I mean, and they were going fast in an intersection when they wrecked. Those custom trucks, the cabs in them, you will live through a wreck. You can get on YouTube videos where you want to look at some of the wrecks. It's unbelievable. But in a commercial truck, you ain't gonna make it. Not that many thousands of gallons of water behind you, the weight and everything else, there's a lot of people dying in those trucks. So that's why we try to stay with a custom truck.
Yes.
So it sounds like, to me, the biggest, input what you're stating is, do we get a new truck, or is it worth getting a used one? And that's a pretty big preliminary decision, and you can come to the decision that the used vehicles are really not worth.
I would support that again after this last one. I didn't really support it again when they did it, but we've got way too much headache with that truck. We're buying somebody else's headache, is what we did. And we've done a lot of work underneath that truck. Just in the front end and tie rods and everything, the body, we had to send it up there to have some of that body stuff taken care of. We thought the frame was gonna crack. So,
All right, thank you
Yes, sir.
so
Thank
much.
y'all.
We'll set the meeting for that. I also want to make us aware that there is a new A&P opening, and it is an at-large person, which means they don't have to be in restaurant, they don't have to be hotel. I mean, it's just at-large, and so that position is now open. And if you'd be so kind as to let us know of your interest or someone on that particular commission of your interest in the board, I truly appreciate that. Is there any more business? Yes, sir.
I need, an update on mass, state, city, and in the municipal building as regards face masks.
As of today, the city of Camden has not gotten rid of our ordinance concerning masks. So we still have an ordinance in our city, which is different than a resolution. We have an ordinance for masks. With the recent uptick in Missouri and Arkansas are taking the lead right now in Delta. It's not a law that I would be very apt to say. I wouldn't want to be the one who wrote that resolution. I wouldn't want to be the one who wrote that particular ordinance, but if we voted to do that, then that would be a vote that we would do. And even with the vaccination, we're being warned that Delta right now, 25% of all of those with it in this state have the Delta one, which is easier to contract. 98% of all persons who, of the people who are getting sick now, are people who have not had vaccination. And 99% of all deaths are those who have not been vaccinated. And so we're in environments where it's improper for me to ask you if you have a card. And so I wear mine because I don't trust that people are getting the vaccination. Our numbers say that we're not getting them. The numbers say that we're low in getting them. So someone, and it's inappropriate, you can't ask people health problems. And we're actually dealing with we're working now on offering an incentive to our workers who will be willing to actually go on and get the vaccination. Our city does have the ordinance still in place as an answer to the city question.
Okay.
At the state level, it has been
fine.
voted that, yes, sir.
That's fine, I'm good.
Okay.
One thing I want to say, I'm breaking protocol because I haven't talked to the chief about this, but in Ward 3, I've gotten several calls about firecrackers. I'm not gonna be the party people, but people are calling about, the firecrackers being going off. I don't know whether we have an ordinance or just something that's back burnerish or. And I know you can't hardly patrol it, I get that, but I'm just getting calls, I'm just throwing it out there. Well, I'm just getting calls, I'm not saying that, I hadn't talked to the chief about it, let me get that clear, but I'm just getting a bunch of calls that.
Alderman McDonald, we also had that same exact problem 4th of July, and I did have a conversation with the mayor on our Monday morning staff meeting, and we are gonna have to put some type of action in place, because this year was the worst year in the history of Camden, and I had officers that got hit by bottle rockets in their back while they were on duty in the housing authority. So we are gonna have to change rules. There is an ordinance against, the use of fireworks inside Camden, but we're just gonna have to figure out a way how we're gonna enforce that.
That's fine, okay.
We had that discussion Monday morning.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine.
And our conclusion, if you'll allow, was that we're going to actually work with the county judge, because even though you can't buy them in the city, you can buy them in the county. And so we're gonna see if we can work or barter a deal with him to just see where it goes. Because if you can buy them right over the line, you're still gonna shoot them here, or you can sell over there and shoot them. So. Is there any more business? Yes, sir.
I got 3 items. I'll say let me follow back up on the splash pad deal. Are we gonna expect to see another $6,000 in wages for the splash pad oversight in July and August. I guess I'd wonder, what are these jobs and how do I get one?
I cannot answer that question sufficiently at this time. I will get more information though, I will.
Number two, I'm curious, and we've talked time about having things, we put the incubator building in our budget this year, but there aren't any items going in there. I'm wondering it has in the budget that there's gonna be people paying rent. I'm curious who's down there, who's renting, not renting, or what the expenses are running on. I mean, obviously they're going to a different account than what's in that particular fund we have in our deal, so at some point next year, we're gonna need to know, well, how much did we budget for that place?
How much did we make?
Well, we're not making anything, it's got zero revenue. Well, it has interest, $30 of interest, I guess, but no rent revenue, but it's supposed to be, I thought, rented.
Yeah, there should be 3 tenants right there.
3 tenants?
Look to see where it's showing up on the item, yeah, we see the 3 tenants coming in right there.
3 tenants.
And that's not enough to cover all the expenses, and
No,
never has been.
But it's,
all tenants.
I guess the budget, or our report is showing zero revenue coming in. So
I think that's gonna be just which account it's going into.
Oversight or we're not charging rent?
We're charging rent. He said, is that oversight or are we charging rent? We are charging.
Yes, there's a rent being charged, and it is a low,
well, according to our papers, it's zero.
Right, so that I would think we can look at and see where it's going in, but it is low, right, $8 a square foot, $7 a square foot. It's a fairly small amount because it was set up to be for businesses just getting started.
Yeah.
So it wasn't set up as money making, as just a normal rental space would be if you were in a.
It's supposed to be up there, so
But,
just a
we have
starter kit.
another- And I think we have another, to continue using as an incubator, I think we have another, I wanna say 24 to 30 months left. You know, part of that was built using grant funds, so part of those grant fund requirements were to use it as an incubator, use it for businesses, and we're on the tail end. I wanna say it's within 2 years. And
Well-
we're just good to see.
Well, my suggestion, I guess, is going forward from the administration, or whether, I don't know, is if we've got expenses on that building, they ought to be going, the expenses and revenues ought to be showing up on that page in our budget, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where I was looking for.
Right. Well,
We certainly did a separate budget thing when we passed our budget, so.
And I would think part of that is gonna be going from, one, it being, leased out to OPEB, and then OPEB just submitting us 10% of the rent. So we previously got 10% of the gross
Right.
rent. We went from that to this public works garage department using it because the central garage will be law. And then now they're back in their old building, but now we still have it as being landlord. So each of those is sort of a little bit different situation. I think what happened was the income and expenses were being listed in different categories. Like I said, technology building
Yeah.
versus okay building, which, I don't think correct that, it definitely is reflected on the finance.
Yes, sir, you had another?
Well, I was gonna ask, we've got a big bass tournament that's gonna be coming up the first part of August.
August 7th.
August 7th?
7th.
Okay. And I called Kevin, I asked about it, and apparently they've started doing some cleaning up down there, because
Yes,
I'd
sir.
gotten a call or two about saying, hey, what are we gonna do about that? My boats can't get down the ramp, and the weeds are getting high, we don't wanna embarrass ourselves when that 100 bass families show up to spend their weekend fishing.
Yes, sir. We are diligently down there now doing that, and we're gonna get a little bit of help to do a little more cleaning. And we've also started a project right behind Brookshire's, cleaning up behind there, in that particular ravine there. And, so yes, sir. We're on the ball. We just have to hope it's dry enough days after it rains too.
Water set up a long time on there.
Yes, sir. Is there any more business before the council tonight?
Move we adjourn?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Sure was nice meeting your mom on the fourth. Seemed like a very nice lady.